Hi, this is Doug and welcome back to my shop, Woodspun Round. I'm glad to have you with me today, and what we're going to do here, just a quick project I hope, is a tea light holder. We're going to do everything we can with this piece of fence post except for drilling the hole for the tea light. I thought I had some tea lights and I do not have any, so I need to get some so I know what size hole to put in the top. This is actually going to be my top. This will be my No, this is going to be my bottom. This is going to be my top. Tried to confuse myself. First thing we got to do, we've cut it off. This side's fairly square. This side's not even close to square. I'm going to square this off, put a tenon on it so that we can reverse it, and then I can turn the top section. You'll see more of that as we get going. We got it mounted here between centers. I'm going to turn it on at 500 RPMs just to make sure we're in good shape. I think we are. Everything's been locked down nice and tight. Just double checking, we're out of the way. Face shield down, we'll speed it up and get working on the bottom end first. $1,200 RPMs. Use my nearly square carbide cutter just to square off the bottom end here just a little bit, so I don't have extra pieces flopping around, and we're pretty good. Got a slight concave there to it, which is not too bad. I'm going to want it square, not concave, but I also need to put a tenon on here. We're going to do that with the parting tool. So let's get started doing that. Said we're going to do the parting tool. I think we're going to go back to that carbide just because. I think I'm just barely going to have enough space to get the tenon on here. In fact, I'm going to move my tailstock just a little bit. So we're going to have to re-square, and now I think I have enough room for my tenon, or a little more room. I was real close on this edge right here. Speed it up just a hair more. That looks a lot better. It's a lot more square now, and I've got a tenon. It's about the right size. I am going to take my skew and just dovetail it ever so slightly on that upper end. Ready to turn it around. I do have some fuzzies. This is an old fence post. It came off of a farm. It is old. It was replaced because it was dry and beginning to rot. There's actually some rot out here on this edge. Don't want to break a lot of that away because I want some naturalness to it. Stem center out. Pressing straight in on the center. Roughly what will be the center of my turning. This is going to be an off center turning. Release my lock, spindle lock. I am going to bring the tailstock back up just to get us started. Line's right upward where it was to begin with. I'm going to back that off. I'm going to back my speed down. 410. Now I'm going to tighten the tailstock. I want it to be in its own center because I don't want to put torque on, unnecessary torque on my live center. Double check my tool rest. It's in fine shape. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to start in this area right here, curving this out, getting myself a place for the tea light to go in. Face shield down, speed it up. And then when I come in to start cutting, I'm going to use a 1/2 inch bowl gouge. Let's stop and just see where we are. You can see it's still a nice natural flat spot there, but we're getting a real nice curve in this area and this area here. It's rounded. I'm right at halfway around on that one turn, and then I got a small space, that one, and then a nice space there. So we're going to keep going, and I'm just scooping it out very gently. When I get this part done, I'm going to mark my back edge back here and make that so it's a little crisper, a little sharper. And it will never be all the way around because this huge flat spot here and here, this is even bigger compared to this section here that sticks out. These were obviously very rough cut, roughly split out fence posts. I'm not positive, but I'm thinking this is cedar. There's no smell to it, maybe white cedar. Okay. Where are we? All right, still have a little of the natural there. We've gone beyond it here. That's good. I think I want to leave this collar. I'll probably clean that up, maybe make one more pass across there just to make sure it's nice and smooth. Got a little punkiness right there. What I want to do now, straighten my tail rest, get it a little bit closer, not much. But I'm going to mark this spot right here with a little bit of tape. Where did my tape go? I was about to start blaming somebody else and use a different kind of tape. Right here, this has been cut, this has been hit. So I'm going to start back here at this point. I'm going to put a little piece of tape on my tool rest. The issue is I cannot see that when it's flying around here at, well, I've been turning at 1400 RPMs. I can't see where this edge is. So now that that tape is there, I know I can come and I can go straight in right there. In fact, I'm going to do that with a skew just to give it a mark, and then I can come back with my gouge and make a nice smooth curve. Face shield down. saw me making the little series of cuts. Let me pull this up so you can see what I did. I made a nice V cut right there. And what I was doing, I wasn't watching right here where my tool was cutting. I was watching on this side over here as this spun around. Put my tool down so I can show you what I was doing. As this was spinning around, I was watching right up here, and I could see that little notch beginning to form. And so I was cutting from this side, making it just slightly deeper so I can see it very clearly. Now what I'll do is come in with my gouge, and I'll work my way back to that tape, making this curve blend into this curve. With that, I still want to do this edge here. Not bad. I'm going to see if I can't smooth this out just a little more so I don't have to worry about sanding that. It's going to be a pain to sand if I have to sand it. Might have gotten it. Maybe. I did. Got one little line there, but I think that's okay. You see a lot of tear out here, even though I've been going downhill the entire time. This is spindle orientation. It's just so dry, so punky. I'm not terribly worried about it. Let's get this top edge. Go, very light cuts. That should have us much better shape. Yeah, much better shape than where we were. I like this just fine. That was at 1800 RPMs. I haven't turned that fast in a long time, but with this spindle orientation between, not only in the chuck, but having the tailstock up as well, felt very safe. I am going to slow it down. We're going to pull the tailstock back. I just realized my shim was not in the tailstock. My tailstock, headstock don't line up just exactly right, so I have a little shim that I put under my tailstock to get it right. All right, I'm going to turn my headstock just slightly, get you in a different position, and I'll be back in just a minute as we work on this top end. We've got things rearranged a bit. I'm going to give myself a mark here to work by. And this will just be a working mark, just so I can get this semi done. I will double check it after I am able to get some tea lights. We'll make a inch and a half wide indentation. I think that's enough. It may not be, and if it's not, I'll fix that. It's not a problem. I'll get some tea lights before I take this take the tenon off of this. I'm going to turn my speed way down. That's down to 140. Unlock my headstock. Unlock my spindle. Check everything. Wow, that's slow. All right, that's up to 1200. I'm going to raise my tool rest just a little bit. Touch slow there. Touch low rather. Now it's just a touch high. All right. Take my tape off. That tape will cause my tool to drag. Double check. We're clear. And even looking at that, that looks just a little small, so I'll go beyond my line, which means I'm going to be getting close to this edge. So I'm going to be working from the center out for a couple of reasons. One, that will be keeping with the grain. I don't want to fight the grain. Don't want to go into the grain, so I'm going to scoop in and scoop out. As I work. I'm not going to go in very far, but I am going to come out just beyond this line, probably halfway between the line and this edge. So we're going to do that. We're going to do it with a bowl gouge. This is a, what is that? 3/4? 5/8? 5/8 bowl gouge. I'll make one pass with my bowl gouge just to flatten that off. All right, that's all I'm going to do for that. I just noticed my wedding band was still on. I like to take that off. I think the last video I had it on the entire time. Okay, we're way too high for this bowl gouge or spindle gouge. There we go. These will be very light cuts. Use my little small, not that one, my little small parting tool. Give myself a, just double check, make sure where we are at. Yeah, I'm about where I want to be. So I'm just going to come in, make a parting cut just straight in. I can clean that up, and for that I'll use my small, very small skew that I'm going to lay on its side as a scraper. I want that center good and flat, if not just a slight bit concave. I don't want to put a candle in that and then have it rocking on the center. All right, it's ever so slightly concave now. Back that off. Let's get just a little bit of sandpaper. Start with 100 grit, 100 grit. Not going to do a lot. Because of the nature of this piece, it doesn't need loads and loads of sandpaper. Doesn't need a fine finish. Look, that might be all I'm going to do right there. Well, I want to get this a little better, but I don't know that I can do that by hand. I can do this rim just a touch better by hand. Basically just holding the sandpaper up against it. Oh yeah, that's a lot better. In fact, I want to reverse it. I know what to do. I know what I'm going to do. Forward again. Not using the top edge of this. It's a square square piece of sandpaper on a round mandrel. I'm not using the top section, I'm using the bottom section. In fact, I'm using, if I'm looking at this as a clock, 12, 6, 3, and 9, I'm doing about 7, 7:30 is all that's touching on here, and it's very light at that. Left the speed up. This is one time, because of that massive void in there, I'm keep the speed up so there's less air time, and like I said, lightly sanded. I need to reverse my sander, in fact. And I think that's going to be enough. That's all I'm going to do. That is all the sanding I'm going to do. The rest of this is going to stay rough. It's going to stay just like it is. Other than to take the tenon off the very bottom, I am done. Except for checking that. I've got to get some tea lights, check that before I remove my tenon. But other than that, there you have it. That is one fence post tea light holder. This is for the tea light holder challenge. Claire's Crafty Corner, I believe, is who put that challenge out. Here it is. I thank you for watching with me. This is Doug at Wood Spun Round. Until we meet again, spin 'em round.